Amanya Peter Obama. I go by the name of Navio, Daniel Chikozi, for those who know me. Grew up here in Kampala. I want to thank all of you guys, first of all, for making it down here and being a part of the project. I want to thank all the amazing people up here as well for being involved. There were so many different crews working on so many different aspects of it. Of course, you've seen what we've done as far as the video production, but there was a huge interest in what we were doing as far as the music and what it's meant to so many people out there. When we started off the project, we wanted to do something that was fun. We found that we were going to places, and as an artist, you do 100, 150 shows a year. A lot of those are outside of Kampala. And we're like, what happens when we take people along with us? See the vision, like we'll be there standing on top of a rock, somewhere in Tororo, and we'll be like, wow, look at that view. And there's only 3 of us there. There's only so many people you can capture. So I feel like the amplification that has happened through an NBS, for example, is so great, because now when we turn around and we say, look at that sunset, look at that, look at Naruwale right now, check out these fruits and these foods, the things we talk about and we want the rest of Uganda to know about. At least now we have a way to get that into people's living rooms, so that's a beautiful thing. But also remember, apart from the eyes and what you're seeing, there is the ear, the different languages that people are speaking. I have friends that I grew up with who have literally only been to Entebbe and back. And they're rich, by the way. They really have no excuse, like barons, the barons of this world. So I thought it was some, people in our, I won't say age range, because then you'll ask questions. But some, there are people in a certain bracket who don't move and don't travel. They feel like it's not cool or it's not something they should do, and they don't find time for it in their schedule. And I think that's another thing we wanted to change the narrative on, was that we can be Ugandan, you can be urban. There's no way you should be going to Dubai before Morocho. There's no way you should be, going to, traveling the world before you know what's right under your nose and the beauty that you can have and the substance and the, domestic tourism destinations you can go to that are right under your nose. So, as well, hearing the music, that aspect of it, we decided to really give that its fair attention. Every episode finishes where we blend with, whether it's a local choir, whether it's an old man that has a singing voice, whether it's, children in a school. We end every episode using the sights and sounds of what we've seen. We're not going to manage to capture all of it. We're not going to manage to capture all the beauty of it, but we can capture at least some of it and record it and put it down, for our people to know about, throughout the country. We need to learn about each other. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. So, let me leave it there for now. Yeah. Thank you guys all again. Big up to Hennessy, who's come along for the journey. Big up to Pepsi. Big up Uwa. And of course, it goes without saying, NBS, 8 p.m. every Thursday. We are together.
That's nice.
Yes, Navio next project. So,
great.
Keep it chill.
Now, if you are on social media, use the hashtag. Have you ever traveled the whole of Uganda the way you have?
For traveling to as well. Great. But we've managed to go to everywhere, like there's nowhere where we've been. There's no culture where we interacted with, so it's been a crazy opportunity to capture these sounds and turn them into something.
What's the difference between capturing sounds in studio and being in the wild of Uganda? Because I know you capture bottom tops, I've seen you capture, all sorts of things, but then you are now doing this, you're capturing the waterfalls and all that. How does it feel?
You feel more connected to nature, to people, to sort of spiritual, like to deeper level.
Yeah.
Because we are capturing these sounds in their purest form.
Yeah.
And transforming them into something that is accessible. Mm-hmm. So me personally, it's a crazy experience, opportunity.
Yeah. On this album, Abasa, if I'm to ask you, on this album that you have, because you've worked on a few, not a few, but very many.
Is able to work with, and that expresses his identity, but also expresses the identity of the culture that we visited. And also the stories, like I think we'd go there like a day or two prior, and just sit with guys.
Oh, so you go a day before to get,
just be there.
Entanglement in the culture.
Yeah, so I think by the time these guys would arrive, it would be a clean slate. Like we would have to go, and I think in Moronto we had to, there was a group of old guys, just like gray haired people, and they're like, you have to buy us snuff. You have to buy them alcohol. It comes in like buckets, right?
Okay.
And then snuff, which is like a weird thing that they sniff.
Yeah.
And so we buy it for them, then they split that thing, they discuss. And then
That's the electricity.
this is like 2 days before he comes. And then we have to like interact with them, and then they accept us and they start telling stories.
Wow.
And then we set up mics. So I think that by the time Danny arrives, we've already kind of figured out what's the story that we want to do in this region. And then going forward, it's like how do we translate that into a message that he understands, but a message that would also translate on Spotify or any other, like a YouTube or even on NBS. The visual team really did a great job. I truly appreciate that as well. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Your position? You can't hide it.
Fair. Currently, I'm the head of record label at Swans Avenue.
Okay. Do we have any musicians here? Lamba. NBS, and I'm going to talk to Derek for
that with NBS they also kept me on my toes when I went to present this to the entire team. They sat around, and after about 47 seconds they started looking at each other. Okay. they communicate without even communicating.
That's Mwamichi.
Yes. And then, he just said, Thursdays at 8. And Kim was like, yeah, I think so. Deal done. And you can imagine, we came together to do this without any sponsor, without any backing, no government backing. Really just found a brand that wanted to push the tourism agenda. We have that explore the 4 pillars.
And just from here, Kampala alone, he has been able to see the depths of what Uganda has to offer. So I want to know from you, Tom. He is the Ugandan. You have been doing this before I actually. I don't know how to say this without making you laugh like that, but I'm hoping you can take this serious. The myth, Jinja, Moroto, Karamoja, Poto, Gulu, Kabale, Kapchora, Butaleja, Mbale. Why Butaleja turning out to be your favorite of all these places? Yet I know for sure places like Jinja excite you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming through. For me, Butaleja is home. That's where my mother is from. She's a Munyore. So going there, seeing my grandmother, we actually first got lost. These people were not listening to me, and they thought they knew where my church is.
We don't believe.
So we first got lost, but then Butaleja is where my grandmother is, where my mother is from. So it was great going home. I've known Navio for forever. Our families have known each other forever, but he had not come to that side of my family. So it was great for me taking Baru, Navio, Flex, just the whole team, everyone who's here, taking them to home. There are no hotels that side. There's nothing fancy. We were in the house, in the houses with my grandmother, with my uncles, my aunties, the people who raised me. So it was great having that. They got to experience. I mean, in the morning, I let them go. They got to experience that. We got to experience. We went to the school where I think it was open 2 years after. My grandfather went to it 2 years after it was open. He studied there. taught there. You know, we lost him, but you know, he's still such an important pillar in the community. So for me, it was just great having these guys come experience that with me. And
Hitting home has never felt the same.
Bruh,
yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I would love to ask you more. Just before we get to Mama Chimba, and this is basically on the musical side of it. His choice of doing this is something that you guys have done. First of all, as Clear Cut, you've done this before. You've always had this thing, but I think you, more than anyone else, has been really messing more with the cultural stuff.
Yeah.
Navio has done a lot as well in that same world, but I think you've been really messing a lot. You have a whole album called The Ugandan. You've been really so UG for all this time.
Yeah.
So meshing with this and creating an album out of this, of what importance do you think it is to what you started and to where it is today?
So, just so you know, when you say we, it's Clear Cut. We started with Percussion Discussion Africa. We did an album with them, Clear Discussion, that got nominated for the chorus and took us around the world. You know, just traveling and touring. 2019, yeah.
You are lying.
You know, when we were young guys.
It was 1998.
2019.
Yeah.
It was in 2005.
5.
No. It was like 9, 10. Yeah. It was 9, 10. We were back. Yeah. So we traveled, got nominated for the Cora Awards and everything, and you know, so it's something that we have been passionate about because, you know, identity. The fact that we've been fortunate enough to travel and see different places. It's important to come back and, you know, when you go out there, say, oh, I am Ugandan. You know, people joke about the Kenyans with their bracelets, say, have they given that at birth?
Yeah.
You know, but it's an identity. You are from this place, you are this person, you represent this. And with music and culture and food and language and traditional attire and everything, it's a nice way for us to be billboards for the country, you know. So it's something important to us. Doing the music, like Abasa said, these guys will go ahead of us. You know, they'll go experience that. These songs that you have on this album are just the tip of something bigger. Okay. You know, there's so much more music created. There's so many more songs that are there. You know, we learned a lot. It's such a great experience. And, you know, even if you don't want to, I mean, you'd rather go somewhere else, my advice is just go check out, even if you just go to Ginger, which is what I like, go to Ginger and also try and experience the cultural side of it. It's such a enlightening experience.
Therapeutic. Great. Mr. Chimba.
Why brands like Hennessy have linked up. You know, we've been able to work with them on a project like this. It's simply because they've been all about pushing the culture, and this was an avenue that they never even thought about. Okay, this is culture, and you know, usually you see things in a global way, so you'd be like, okay, this is black culture. But then within that, we have an African identity that is the root of what's developed black culture now. So to us, to people say, hey, Busta Rhymes, you know, like we have our formats of how this has been done. I think it was very important for all the brands involved to kind of explore, okay, we're here in this new world, but have we forgotten a certain truth? Mm-hmm. How can we bring the ancestors onto what we're doing? Mm-hmm. You know, and of course for me, you know, there's a lot of us who during the Civil War, etc., had to move out. Guys went out for 15 years, we come back with an identity, a black identity, but not an African identity.
Yes.
And that's what I've been trying to kind of, because I can have a grandfather who's practically a chief and not be able to connect with my roots and what it's all about. Yeah. And then once I learn about my own people, I'm like, wow, to the west, there's so much happening, to the north, to the east, and this is just one country. So I think I really wanted to kind of evolve music, evolving backwards, if that makes sense. Yeah. You know, whatever we've missed coming forward to create our own culture. We shouldn't need to borrow, of course the rhythms come from here with Jamaica and whatnot. We shouldn't need to borrow. We have so much of our own influence, and we see that. We see the power of that. When me and the men fly in for Afrima Awards, we sometimes nominated for hip hop. Other times you find Njogereza, for example, was right next to Tiwa Savage, Davido, Whiskey for best artist, best song, best video, and best writer, which Mr. UNI should be. Actually, he won best writer in Africa. Africa for Njogereza.
That's awesome.
So there is power in our own music. We just have to get to the root of it, and hopefully this is a door opener. Baru spearheaded the production. Amazing job, and of course, because Abasa's the money, the swans, we could only steal him away for a few projects, so for 3 or 4 of the projects on the album, and Atebo Wana as well. We have the sweet vocals of him there and on the Karama song, but also Baru. The story goes back so long. From us sharing beats. He's giving me beats late when my albums are ready. And I'll be like, my God, this guy is so dope. So we worked a couple of times. But I'd always say to him, I'll be like, by the time we link up, I know we're going to make history. I know we're going to do something that's going to change the way Ugandan music works. And I'm so glad that I kept my promise. And he's done exactly that, man. So yeah, big up to the production.
A round of applause to Baru and Abasa. An amazing job. All right, so now what next? I mean, now we have this official launch. We now know that this is obviously an extension, not really an extension, but part of the Navio X project itself. But this being the album, we need it. We want to listen to it. We want to, stream it and all that. So what next now?
So at midnight, the links are already up actually on all our pages. So you'll be able to do a pre-save. Make sure you guys go and get your pre-saves for all your platforms. You can check them out on all my platforms. The links are there. So at midnight, the album goes live. We're going to be able to talk about it. We're going to be able to chat together. We're going to be able to look at what we could have done better or worse. It's important to mention that we wanted to do it as live as possible. The last time I did this was with a Just Jose on the African Hustle music, where you go in with notes. You don't have complete lyrics. You go in with notes, and you have Baru trying to set up their shields to block sound. You have Abasa running around with wires. You have the beat, talking to an old L down to get some rich history that he comes in with last second. And of course we're filming, so we have a professional film crew with us trying to film the whole thing. So big respect as well to all the guys, the film crew done their thing. From Adrian to Henix Touch. Big up to him, and we had some clips as well in the first episode from Isaac. So it was just amazing. The way that we came together was amazing. But the next steps are basically to now show that influence, show people that there is a way to use our culture in music. And of course, this is going up to volume 10. X is 10.
Okay.
So this is the first volume of many more volumes to come.
Okay.
We have 50, 60 tribes. Just know that this is the beginning of a long whatever. We're also, remember, this started in COVID. Now that we're free of that, we want to now bring on artists for season 2 to be telling that story. I will play a host role and get more of that story told by now. Some of the bigger artists that are coming out. That's always been the vision, even for season 1. But we weren't able to do it because trying to get celebs out of their house during COVID. So we literally started filming, the first 2 episodes in lockdown. And yeah, I'm just so glad and thankful that it's managed to come this far. So get ready for it. We're also going to be at Aura for the release party later. So make sure everyone comes through for the at Aura. We're going to be celebrating and waiting until midnight, until the album drops. There's going to be all sorts of merch and everything there for sale. And that's going to be on the website as well, naviomusic.com. So make sure you get to the website, make sure you get the pre-saves, stream the album, and make sure most importantly you share it. If you are from all the regions we went to, please send this to not only yourself, send it to your judge in the village, later also give you some notes.
Yeah,
So
we'll come back.
we'll come back stronger for the season 2.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Now, before I
15 to 20 years. So I also want her to come out there. She's also met Jaja, and now she's mine. So yeah, it's just a beautiful place. She's been telling us it is, and we found now was the perfect opportunity to come and actually get to see it firsthand, and to also have one of my boys' ancestral homes captured for us to appreciate it forever. So there were so many reasons to go, and the fact that I went, I was like, my goodness, imagine if we would never go there. You know, oh yeah, I didn't know the men, so I didn't know about the legend. Now we have another 30 million people in the country who now know about Buteleki. It is there, it is beautiful, where your rice comes from. That information would have never been right there unless we did a project like this. So yeah, it's a 5-6 year plan. And of course, you can't talk about everything on one song. So after the 5-year plan, we know on the mainstream album come out when they have such beautiful music and such a rich culture and history. I think it's going to do its own promotion, really. It's just about taking a song. They're already calling me and asking me. They're like, hey, Chief of the Tribe wants to know, when is the song coming out? When is the video coming out? So there's already interest in every area we go to. And I think that's another thing, about the question earlier. You've seen so many